Let's say it's a nice, warm, sunny day, and you and a group of your friends are hiking on a trail that you're not familiar with. It's been fun, and you and your friends have seen some interesting things. There will be lots to talk about at the end of your journey. However, without realizing it, you've just found yourselves in a precarious spot. The path has become dangerous, and the risk of falling has become almost certain. At this point, you may start to wonder how you got here, or what could have been done differently to avoid this predicament. Were there any signs that warned you of this potentially dangerous, slippery slope? I'd like to talk about the signs. We can be the signs for other unsuspecting hikers on their trail. We can help prepare others with what we know to be true, real, and right, to help them be ready in case they encounter difficult parts along their trail. I feel very fortunate to have so many good teachers and examples to look to in my short 17 years. My parents have been committed to offer myself and my 7 siblings a faith-based education. I've encountered several exceptional teachers who are willing to teach beyond the base curriculum. I've spent time in a community that cares for the well-being of their members and encourages their neighbors to strengthen their relationship with God. I know there will be days in my life that I won't always be happy, but for these 3, faith, family, and education, I feel I have a good foundation to build on while I'm preparing for my hike. It can be sad or scary to think about others out there just hiking away. Maybe they don't have some of the experiences that I've been blessed with. I haven't always known what true blessings are, but I'm sure as I get older, I'll become better at recognizing them. But one blessing that I've spent my whole life with is my Aunt Connie. She was born in 1971, and at the time, the doctors were not prepared to advise my grandparents on how to deal with a baby with Turner syndrome. My grandmother tells of how after some testing they did on the newborn, the doctors handed her the baby and said just to take her home and do what you can, but be prepared for the worst. My aunt turned 49 last November, and we are still waiting for the worst to occur. My dad says that his parents didn't need the doctors to do any more testing. They just needed to hand that baby over to her parents and let them do their job of loving her. My aunt has had a large influence on myself, my family, and how we were raised. I think she had a large influence on a lot of other people as well. She has some developmental issues that have caused some physical limitations, but I cannot imagine the idea of her not being a part of our life. I think she is one of the signs. I think Connie could be an example for the hikers. I have a cousin who is 10 years older than me. She will be getting married next June. When she was a junior in high school, she told her parents about her pregnancy. Lots of people had lots of things to say about it. But with the support of her family and her parents, she was able to give birth to her son. His name is Bradley. He's 9 years old, and last month, Bradley beat me in a game of checkers. I think Bradley is a sign. I think he could be a good example for the hikers. When I was very little, my grandpa used to feed me ice cream. I know this to be factual because there are photos. My grandpa was a Korean War vet, and in his later years of life, he was in a lot of physical pain because his body just wore out. He used to tell us that if he were a car, they would not put any new parts in him because he wouldn't be worth it. When he was 82 years old, he left us. He was lying on the bed that the hospice worker had delivered to my grandma and grandpa's house in their living room. All of our family was there, but it was the saddest thing I knew in my 9 years. Today I think about it and I realize how awesome it was to have the whole family there and for us to be able to say, goodbye, see you later, Grandpa. Knowing that he lived, served, built, farmed, and when God said it was time, he did not hesitate to obey. I think Grandpa was a sign. I think my grandpa should be a sign for just about every one of those hikers. Our world is filled with lots of confusion and anxiety. Some people are scared. It's easy, I suppose, to get caught up in the hype of what a news station thinks is good for ratings. Wouldn't it be nice if we all just focused on the parts of this gift, life, that are the purest and simplest? These are the signs to help us prepare for the hike, and the warning signs to help us avoid the slippery slope are so obvious. Is it possible that we can just look right past them? It really doesn't need to be a debate. The slippery slope can be avoided. The signs to avoid the slippery slope are just, in fact, real life. It's a real life that God has given us. In His eyes, it's a perfect life. And when He says it's time, the signs clearly state we should obey.